We're in the middle of rebuilding this old mobile home, and we're heading into a warm season here. This mobile home is completely metal roof, metal walls, and there's no insulation, so it's going to start getting very hot in here. So I decided to go ahead and get the insulation for the roof on order. If we can get the roof insulated, it's going to make a big difference in here. So we are preparing for that. And today I want to start getting the wiring done in the ceiling. If we can get the wiring all in, we'll be more or less ready for installation. So I'm going to start by just marking out all my light boxes where all the fixtures are going to be. So even though we don't have any walls framed up yet, I do have a layout and a design that I can follow. And I'm going to go ahead and mark all my light fixture locations with this tape so that I can start getting wires pulled, and this will just give me a nice visual of where all the lights are in this house. Now you might be wondering why I'm not just going ahead and installing the light fixture boxes up here in the ceiling. And there's a couple of reasons for that. But for now, this is just the way I want to roll. And we'll explain the rest later. But this just gives me a visual to start with. Okay, so I got my ribbons set for all the lights in the house, and I feel good about them. We just did a walkthrough and approved. Everything looks good. Now these are more or less the same as what we had planned on paper, but we did make some minor changes, and that was why I did this, because sometimes on paper it's hard to gauge how many feet apart things are, and I could really fine tune it and see where it's gonna look and feel right. Now just working in here today, I can feel right now the radiant heat coming off this ceiling, off this roof. It's hot. The sun is on it and it's cooking me. So I can't wait for that insulation to come so we can get the roof insulated. So now that we're happy with this layout, we're gonna go ahead, I think I'm gonna wire it today. I'm gonna just start pulling wires and see what we can get done. It'll get us one step closer. And again, I don't have any ceiling light boxes. Because of the type of ceiling that we're going to be installing and the layout of our lights, we thought it'd be easier to just wait until we install the ceiling and use old work boxes. Old work box is just a type of electrical box that you can drill a hole, pop it in, and that usually has tabs or fins that come out and lock it onto the surface. So we're going to use a combination of old work boxes and flush mount LED lights, where it's like the recessed lighting, where they just clip into the ceiling. So we won't need any fixture boxes for those. So that's why I'm not gonna install any throughout the house. I decided to go with the old work boxes because, first of all, they have a full flange around them, and it's gonna be super easy to air seal it. So I could even caulk it if I want to before I put them in, and that flange is gonna give a perfect air seal on the ceiling. That's super important for this home because we have an unvented attic, and you really want to air seal the ceiling, because the more moist air from your home is getting into the ceiling, the more chance of condensation and water problems in your roof, in your attic. Since we don't have any ventilation, we have to be aware of that. So I want to really air seal all the light boxes. And if I put in regular round fixture boxes right now, when I install my ceiling, I gotta just try to measure out those boxes and cut a hole and hope it lines up good. And those holes are sometimes a bit sloppy. You have gaps around your lights, and it makes it harder to air seal. And also, it makes it easier to make mistakes. So if I'm just pulling wires right now, when I install my ceiling panels, I can just drill a hole in my ceiling panel, and I can put it up there. And the light box, even if I'm off with my hole, it doesn't matter, because I can put that light box in there and nobody will ever know.
Yeah.
So it's actually kind of an odd system, but it's a very efficient and clean system where I can get perfect holes without worrying about getting it exactly in the right spot. So I guess I'm going to start here in the end of the house. This will remain a bedroom. I'll give that away. This was a bedroom. It'll stay a bedroom.
I'd be afraid of stabbing the wire.
No, it's made for it.
I know. I still would be afraid.
So I'm going to run it right along the side of the truss. I'm already getting twisted a little bit.
Am I in here? Here's Kala visiting us today again. Purring.
Oh, this cut. You know what? It's hard cutting wires without boxes here. It's kind of scary. But I'm just going to try to cut them long. We'll see.
Yeah. Come here. What you need is a belt to hook that on.
Yeah. Probably so. Well, not too much to see, but bedroom wiring is done. Let me just go up over that plate a little bit more. We'll see. Basically, one light to the next light, down to the wall switch, which will actually be right over here. And I'll just staple it into the side. Wow.
What's wrong?
So I got these series of lights all linked up, and now I'm going to go ahead and run it down here. There's going to be another wall, another switch.
Cool.
This is new for me, running wires without walls. That's tricky.
Yeah.
It's going to be no surprise that we're moving down to the living room. I know I'm not supposed to tell you the layout. This was the living room. It's going to stay the living room. It just works. We like it. So, got a couple of lights here that I'm going to install. There's no way for me to make this exciting. It's just pulling wire. And hoping that I know where they go. But that's the beauty of this, is I can just adjust the boxes as needed. When I drill the holes in the ceiling, as long as I leave enough wire. Yeah, that's not working. Some of this wood is very hard. That one did good.
Is it still warm up there?
Very hot up here.
Very hot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this one is tricky. Did we bring drill bits with us? We gotta drill through that plywood. Let's get it stapled here. Let's see how these staples go into this plywood. Oh, it went in there. Good.
You we could do something. If we're rich enough, we should buy it back.
Okay. I'm probably making these wires way too long, but I just feel...
That's okay. I feel like you should wear your ear things when you're that close to that noise.
Oh, it's not so bad. So these have to go all the way out here to center. Just for simplicity, so they're not going everywhere. These staples went into the plywood with ease. Much nicer. This old wood is just very dry, very hard. It's hard to get staples into anything like this. So I'm not surprised. We'll come closer. I'm not good at this eyeballing kind of stuff. I'm more of like a precise measurement kind of person.
Yeah.
So this kind of work scares me.
I think it's good for you to branch out and just be more on the fly.
Yeah.
I said it just doesn't matter.
Oh, it matters. It matters. Good. We gotta come down the wall for a switch. Let me just plan this out. Not be as fast. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those bits that pull through the wood. Now you might be thinking that a 1-inch hole is a bit oversized for a little 14-2 wire, and that is right, but it's because I'm using these new wire guards. You probably haven't seen these before, but what they are is a wire guard, much like the plates that you'd put on your wall to protect a nail or screw from going through and hitting your wire. But instead of going on the outside of the stud and leaving a lump in your wall, this will go right into the hole and protect the wire on the front and back and doesn't leave any lumps in your walls. Put it in that hole. We hammer it in. Okay. We have a metal lined hole for the wire to go through. Totally protected. Should anything go in there and puncture that wire, it can't anymore. Now we just got to get the wire over here where we will find the best place to staple it. Then we get a staple in it. Then we line them up. Gonna go across. I'm trying to keep the wires above the insulation. And you guys might notice I'm using a new tool. Try it out. The DeWalt cable stapler. This is for stapling Romex and communication cables. And in new build construction, this might work better. It's having some trouble pushing the staples down into the old wood. Let me see how it does in the stud. Let me just see where the switch box will be. I'll do it this way. That looks clean. Wow, this is really coming together. We got all these lights wired down to the switch. I might have to pick up a Forstner bit or something. All right, let me take some of the slack out. Now I'm trying to be really careful with where I put these wires because I don't want them getting hit either when we're putting on the ceiling or when we're attaching the roof. We got to keep them away from the roof in case we screw a roof down through it. And say a long screw happens to go right at that right spot. Mm-hmm. Oh, it'll probably be higher than I am visualizing. So, let me just make a loop. That should get me to anywhere I need to be in that wall. All right, move it down to the end to do these two lights.
It burns the muscle.
A lot of what I'm doing right now isn't going to make sense until the walls and stuff are in. Why? Well, it's getting a little bit crazy in here. Hopefully it makes sense. But I'm moving on to a new wire, so I thought I'd show it. We're going to be running some of this blue 14-3. This has an extra conductor in here, an extra wire for the smoke alarms. We need a signal wire, so we need the power and a signal to connect them all together. So we're going to have a smoke alarm here, here, and then all the way down on the other end of the house. So this is going to be basically a super long run from one end to the other. Whoa! I'll tell you guys, we're making progress. I can't wait for this to get done because it's hot up here. Let me show you. This is how those wire staples come. They're thin metal staples with a plastic insulator on top to protect the wire, and they don't look very strong, but they're sure hard to get out if you put them in the wrong spot. I found that out. So they do hold well. But I think that holding strength is also the weakness because they're not going into the wood all the way. They're very hard to get in. Hard to get in, hard to get out. But it's so cool being able to do this because my fear with hammering staples is I wouldn't be able to do it. Oops. I wouldn't be able to do it in some of these tight places, especially on these shaky little trusses. You'd just be pounding them all over the place. So this allows me to put in staples where I wouldn't be able to hammer.
Oh, pull that piece of wood towards you.
Well guys, I think I'm done. I just finished the job. I don't think I missed anything. We got all the power run in the ceiling for smoke alarms and ceiling lights. There's one more thing I have to do, but I don't have time for it today. I'm going to be installing a bathroom vent fan, so that has to be wired up. I'll do that next time. We'll just get that installed. And then I think that's more or less it for prepping the roof, the ceiling for insulation. We just gotta wait for it to come. All right guys, we made it home and it's a little quieter here, so I thought take a moment to talk. I know our porch is getting messy again. We're just getting a lot of projects done. You can see our laundry lounge sign hanging back here. We decided to take them down, refresh them, and do a clear coat over them because we've been meaning to do that for some months now. just to give them extra protection. So that's why those are hanging there. We just sprayed them with some clear. Otherwise, they're holding up pretty good. And I'm kind of disappointed I didn't get more done at the mobile home today because I really wanted to do a couple more little jobs, but the wiring just took quite a bit longer than we expected. Well, I guess it's what I expect. But it's done. It's really pretty cool, aside from the bathroom ventilation fan. And that's another thing I have to figure out because it's going to be a roof vent, and that means I have to cut a hole in the roof to get that all done, and I'm hesitant to cut a hole in the roof until I know what I'm doing. I'm pretty sure we're leaning toward just a basic roof over. What we're thinking about is just buying some metal roof and putting some purlins, which is basically strips of wood, right on the trailer roof and doing metal roof over the top. Just simple, cheap. We think we could get it done for like under, maybe we'll estimate $3,000 for the new roof. For the entire roof done, $3,000. I don't want to do it this month, but next month maybe. I don't know. We'll see. That's what I'm leaning toward, because any other option is going to cost a lot more than that. It would be easy. We'd get it done quick.
Yeah.
It's a really easy roof. So that's what we're looking at. And if we do that, that means we're going to have like a ribbed, just a basic exposed fastener ribbed roof. And that means I would have to figure out how to vent through that with... The plumbing is easy. You can get roof boots for that, whatever they're called, little rubber things. But the bathroom fan, I'm not sure what I would do. I might be able to put PVC through the roof, just through one of those. Just have a PVC pipe come up with like a candy cane on top, so that you don't have rain blowing down into your fan.
Yeah.
And just blow, it's just a bathroom vent, so it can go through a pipe. Might be able to do that. We're going to think that all over. This is going to be kind of a slow but busy planning time for us, because we got to figure out a lot of things quick before we do the interior. We got to take care of that roof. We got to get all this ceiling done. It all ties together. There's usually like one thing ties into like 10 more jobs. And that's how it is with everything. And that's why so many things are left finished around here, because everything is relying on something else.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're going to squeeze anything else into this video, so I guess that's all we have for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.
Bye.